Welcome to a Cinderella story, or how to make a collectible doll. We're about to surprise our our guest with a total makeover. Our cameras are trying to find, there she is. How about a big hand for Rhonda? She has no idea what's in store for her.
Okay, what's going on here? Who has a camera in my face?
Well, Rhonda, you've been selected to get a complete makeover. Your best friend Betsy gave us your name, and I have to agree, you really need our help. Are you ready for a new look?
What's wrong with the way I look? I happen to like the way I look.
That look might work if you're a rock star or a rapper, but I understand you're getting ready to graduate from design school. Do you really think a client would hire you with your current look?
Well, I guess you have a point there. Okay, when do we start?
How about right now? In case you just tuned in, we're about to do a complete makeover on Rhonda, who'll be graduating from design school soon. We're in the design studio where Rhonda is going to be transformed from a rapper look to a high-fashion collector doll. Our first job is to handle her mop of tangled and doll hair. Since her hair is a synthetic material, we're using dish soap as shampoo. You only need a small amount of soap, and any brand of dish soap will work. The next step is to condition the hair using any brand of fabric softener as conditioner. Make sure to coat all of the hair and rinse thoroughly. Once the hair is clean and conditioned, we need to comb out the tangles before we can curl it. As you can see, it will take a few minutes to remove all the tangles and matted hair, but the results are remarkable. To make sure the curls hold their shape, we're using a holding gel on the wet hair. Any styling gel will work, but the best one to use is one for extra hold. Since Rhonda will be a designer doll, her hairstyle will start out with a ponytail, positioned high on the head. After applying the holding gel to the hair needs to be pulled into a ponytail with the hair on the head smoothed down. The best way to anchor the ponytail is to use rubber bands made for dental use. Standard size rubber bands would require several wraps, while the dental bands would require only one or two. For curlers, we're using drinking straws cut into 2-inch lengths and straight pins. We're only cutting a few at a time since we don't know how many we will need. Next, we will separate the hair into sections wide enough to cover the drinking straw curlers we made. Each section is wrapped around the drinking straw curler and anchored to the head with the straight pins. I'm sure glad we're doing this to a doll instead of a person. Those pins would hurt like hell. Once the hair is curled, we use an extra hold hairspray to help set the curls before the final step. This step I would not recommend to try at home. Although it is a crucial step for a doll makeover, it could be considered extremely painful for a person. You see, we're about to dip the doll's head into boiling water for 10 seconds.
Hey, wait a minute. Is this safe? You're about to dip my head into boiling water? I know I'm just a doll, but isn't there another way to do this?
Unfortunately, no, there isn't. This is the most important part of creating your hairstyle. This will set the curls for a more permanent hold. As I was saying, we need a container big enough to submerge the doll's head for this final step. Once the water comes to a boil, we remove it from the stove or the microwave before dipping the doll's head in the water for 10 seconds. If the doll has a lot of hair or the hair is extra long, you may want to leave the head submerged for an extra 5 seconds. You should never dip the head for more than 15 seconds or you could end up with badly damaged hair. Use a dry towel to soak up the extra moisture and allow 24 to 48 hours for the hair to dry naturally.
Wow, I didn't feel a thing. I guess being a doll isn't so bad after all. But wait a minute. Are you telling me I have to sit around somewhere for the next 2 days?
Actually, you can do whatever you normally do. You just have to do it in curlers. Besides, our dress designer needs that extra time to complete an original dress design made just for you. Here we are at the designer studio where we are about to see an original gown created from the designer's imagination. She sometimes uses a ready-made pattern for the basic design, but the finished product will be completely transformed into an original creation. As you can see, she has laid out the pattern pieces on the material before pinning the pieces into place and cutting it out. The pin cushion you see is actually sitting on the pattern piece to weigh it down while the designer pins the pattern in place. Depending on the type of material, she would then either sew it by hand or use a sewing machine to assemble the garment. Once the garment is assembled, she will try it on a doll to check the fit and make any necessary alterations. Now that the dress is assembled, the designer will try the dress on Rhonda. If there are no other alterations necessary, the designer will actually sew the garment onto the doll instead of making it removable. Since this doll will be displayed as a collectible, the dress and all accessories are permanently attached. Other finishing touches may include handmade doll jewelry made from jewelry pieces, or buttons and a parasol or a walking stick. The last step in this makeover is to remove the drinking straw curlers and style the hair. If the design calls for a headpiece or a hat, the hair is done first before attaching that accessory.
Oh my God, is that me? I can't believe it. I'm beautiful.
Once the finishing touches are done, this doll is ready for sale or to be given as a gift. The doll was created from the creative use of fabric, lace, and accessories displayed on a manufactured doll. Other dolls designed by this designer include the dolls pictured here with crocheted designs and dolls that have already been sold or given as gifts.